Practitioner's Corner. And I don't know what that was. I guess that was a technical fart, maybe.
Or
What
the
do you
roar
think?
of a lion.
Maybe, or the roar of a lion. Okay, welcome back to Practitioner's Corner. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf, your host, and I'm here today with Sharon Cusack. And Sharon is a master practitioner, and she's on her way to be a master trainer. Hi, Sharon.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. So let me give you the law of the land. How's that? So when you come to our course just one time, you're a certified practitioner in whole life coach, which means you can do emotional consults, nutritional consults, creating the perfect day. And you can also do Wolf non-surgical, which we guarantee is more powerful than any other body work. And I lovingly lay that challenge out to everyone around the world. Okay, so, and when you do it just one time, and it's a 28-day course if you stay for the 5 bonus days of training, which we have at the end to kind of tighten it all up like a nice little bow, right?
Absolutely.
Then you're on your way. And we will actually, when somebody's taken our course for that length of time, New World Practitioner, we will back them with a money-back guarantee with all their patients anywhere around the world. We want to know why the patient wanted the money back, and then we will help that practitioner to find their confidence because we have the strategies and we know that we can relieve anybody of issues in their tissues.
Absolutely.
And we can help to bring them back into alignment. Now, know that when anybody takes our course, they are also certified with the World Organization of Natural Medicine, which is the only naturopathic association, true one in the world. The rest aren't. They've crossed the line to the other side. Okay, so anyways, let's talk to Sharon. Now, Sharon, you've done the course 3 complete times. Let's talk about the journey of Sharon. Okay, so let's talk about where you were before you took the course and kind of throughout your journey and where you are right now and what you're up to and what your future looks like as a practitioner. We do this because we want to show everyone that we got sucker punched, and I mean that. You think you got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars? You think that you have to go to school for years and it's only the elite, okay, or the so-called privileged that are going to do this? Well, guess what? We are going to get rid of that today, aren't we?
We are.
We are.
Absolutely.
Because that's a fallacy, because I will put Sharon up against any practitioner that has gone to school for 44 years or 40 years. You heard what I said. And I mean that. And it is a challenge because I want to dismantle this whole rule of thought that you have to almost kill yourself and go into complete debt and only a government certified school is going to rule, and they don't rule. Okay, if you go to an approved government health training, then it's been diluted and also twisted. Anyways, Sharon, why don't you tell your story?
Yes, my story. It's been quite a journey to this point, actually, and it started probably about 35 years ago when I was dealing with hypoglycemia and worked into a place where I could actually resolve that issue. And then as I went forward, I ended up being faced with various infections associated with, well, actually, when I was 12.
But can I say something?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
You do know that hypoglycemia is when you're up and down with your emotions. Just letting you know that. Because the invisible always rules the physical. The psychological is really the gatekeeper.
And I can vouch for that. Is what my go-to was M&Ms. When those blood sugar levels dropped. So it was not a good plan, but it sure felt good as far as the emotional level went.
Well, M&Ms, because guess what? She sugar-coated it.
Mm-hmm.
But the chocolate made her feel that she was loved.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and because Sharon felt she was never getting the love that she deserved.
That's very true. Very true. And it really, when I step back and I look at when I was 12, I ended up having this ruptured appendix that I ended up waiting for 4 days because it was my brother's wedding. And I decided that I was going to sit in a corner and pretty much suffer and pretty much just...
Because that's what you do if you love your family.
Yeah.
You sit and you suffer. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. And I almost lost my life over that. And I was 12. And so the appendix had ruptured and it was rotting in my stomach. And so then we went from there to hypoglycemia and to numerous yeast infections and all of this that was associated with the antibiotics that I was given such heavily treatments. And then I moved forward into trying to have a child. And then that child didn't come because I had 3 miscarriages because I was pooping in my pelvis.
Yeah, she had pelvic rot, and
Yeah.
that's what most women have today. And I'm not trying to put you down, but your tissue's going down, and downstairs is not a good place. That's why, whether we want to believe it or not, that's why there's all troubles with babies that are born, okay? Because there needs to be loving in the oven. And the reality is that if you believe that your bowel movements are great, then take a look at the majority of the population. That is 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, not 1, but 2, but maybe 3. And understand something: every time that you have an incomplete bowel movement, or every time it's diarrhea, or every time you feel constipated, every time you feel that you have bloating, every time that you have gas cramps, every time you have low back pain, every time that you have nausea, just welcome to your world where you have not just issues in your tissues, but you have rotting issues in your tissues. Okay. And you wouldn't have what? Cysts on the ovaries. You wouldn't have ovarian cancer. You wouldn't have fertility issues because you have scar tissue in your fallopian tubes because of inflammation. You wouldn't have bladder infection all the time. You wouldn't have kidney stones, which are calcium stones, from the infection that created the inflammation from the pooping in your body, because that's why you have kidney stones. You wouldn't have gallstones if you didn't hold on to anger, because gallstones are made out of cholesterol, and the cholesterol is to goop up the cracks in the arteries from the acidity in the bloodstream, and the calcium's being pulled. So depending on whether you have kidney stones or gallstones depends on the emotion, the negative emotions you have, and that area will be pulled. The calcium will be pulled from those bones, and that's all you've got is these calcium stones, because that's how much you're eating yourself away.
Yep. I was doing a lot of that at that time.
Yeah.
And then I finally ended up carrying my daughter to full term. And then lo and behold, I ended up with the staph infection of my uterus. And so then under another major amount of antibiotic therapy.
Well, the staph infection, you don't get a staph infection unless you were pooping in your pelvis.
Yeah. It was all related.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so then I managed to move through that, and then ended up being given a drug that damaged my hearing. And that obviously created a huge amount of inflammation within my ear canal, and created a huge amount of calcification to buffer down that inflammation, which I've had worked on numerous times now. And it's helping. It definitely is. And so I still need some more treatments there, because we were kind of trying to carve down a mountain.
And you don't realize that. Here's the really crazy part.
Yeah.
Okay. So the majority of the population is going to get treatments. Okay. And they're only going to get treatments so that they can have the same health as the majority. The majority of the population has an autoimmune disease, and their life is sucking them dry. Okay, so the reality is what people do not understand is that Wolf Non-Surgical is the most powerful body work. But even if you call yourself a healthy person, if we did 20 hours of treatments on you, you would have the body that you had when you were a teenager. Am I lying?
Oh, no, you're not lying.
No. And
No,
if you
not at
have
all.
a chronic illness, you could be looking at 30 to 40 hours, but we will give you your life back. At least 90% of it, and the rest is going to be up to you, because if you don't love yourself, care for yourself, and you're just the terrorist within and you don't even know it, you'll never win.
And you'll get your light and your life back.
Yes.
The love light.
Yeah.
And I've had so many treatments myself, but we'll talk about that
Later.
in a moment here.
Sure.
And so as I've moved through this journey, I ended up starting a business in 2010, and it addressed the live enzymes as far as smoothies and eating as close to nature as possible. And it also was talking about emotions, but it wasn't going to the extent of the unconditional love. It was love was the answer, which it is, but it's deeper than
No,
just
love
love.
is not the answer. Self-love is the
Self-love.
answer. Love is just an ingredient.
That's right.
And it's what you do with it.
Yes, absolutely. And ended up co-authoring a couple of books called Fitness Transforms and Food Transforms. And then I was stretching and really trying to, move into that place and eat as healthy as I possibly could. Not the perfect day health, but I had quit eating meat and I was eating vegetarian-based diet. However, what was happening with, oh, hang on here. Back in 2003, I ended up getting injured in a car accident and corkscrewed my sacrum at the third lumbar. And so I didn't walk properly for 5 years.
Wait a second though, but see, she could have had the injury and she wouldn't have corkscrewed her sacrum at the third lumbar. But because when you poop in your pelvis, okay, it's 2, 3, 4, and 5 that are really getting the damage. That's why 85% of all surgeries happen in 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you take a look, they sit right behind your large intestine. And when you have a dysfunctional large intestine, like a screen door in a submarine, you're pooping in your pelvis. And where do you think you're going to be taking the calcium from? From 2, 3,
3, 4,
5. Okay.
Yes.
So, and then you're going to be getting a scar tissue issue wrapping around the actual vertebrae because the tendons, ligaments, and connective tissue are getting fried like a burger on the grill from the inflammation due to the infection from pooping
in your pelvis.
Okay, so now if you try to get flexibility out of beef jerky, it doesn't work. Okay, go
That's
ahead.
absolutely the case.
Yes.
And so, yeah, so I had this injury that I struggled with. And as I was moving forward, it didn't matter how much stretching I was doing because there was still inflammation there from the tissues that had been damaged and the integrity of those tissues and any emotional angst that I ended up dealing with, they reverberated into those tissues. And so the calcification kept building and building and building. And it was at a point before I was introduced to Daryl Wolf that I could hardly move my neck. And so I was trying to eat well, trying to do exercises, trying to do all of these things, but there was all of these blockages, which I found when I heard his very first video. And during this 35 years of my journey, I was studying health and I really was dedicated to becoming a practitioner, a natural health practitioner. However, all of the modalities I was studying and all the books I was studying and all of the nutrition I was studying didn't seem to give me that light as far as pulling myself out from the pack. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be different. And there was nothing that I could really go out and say, hey, you know what? I feel confident that I could make a change in your life and give you relief until I heard Daryl for the very first time. And he started talking about the scar tissue, the displaced calcium, and the calcification. And I knew from my journey, that's exactly what I was dealing with. I signed up for his course and I've not looked back. And that was January of this year when I signed up for my first course. I did the first course in January, came back home, opened up my practice, and thrived. And it was just such a beautiful experience because now I could take this story and move it into a guiding light for other individuals and understand that we can heal. We can remove those blocks.
You have a choice. You can continue to struggle or realize that life is an adventure and there's going to be bumps along the road, okay? And you're going to be able to handle those bumps because you're going to have tools and you're going to have strategies and you're going to understand to mind your own business and that it doesn't matter how much you change, your world will change. It will become a beautiful place. But those who refuse to want to change and totally unconditionally love and honor, respect themselves and if they don't realize that self-care is the only health care, then guess what? They will continue to suffer. But even what comes along with that is when you first realize this, you want your whole family to have it. You want everybody to have it because that's who we are. Okay. But guess what? You got to mind your own damn business. And I mean, damn business, because the reality is when you become like this, you're beating yourself up because you think that you're still dysfunctional because if I can do it and if I want it, why can't I teach my family? Well, because guess what? They're not ready for it. You have to just become what you talk about and understand. I guarantee you, like Sharon, like me, like everyone else, when you start to see the light, you want to tell everybody, and everybody's just going, wow, can you stop vomiting on me? Because we become the terrorist. It's like we're born agains, and the reality is we just got to back off and live what we believe that will set us free and the life that we've always wanted. And I think you had to learn that lesson, didn't you?
I did, actually. I remember listening. I remember listening to Jay Lee's information in regards to the SAC calcium.
Yeah.
And I came into the door and I was so excited about what it did with the lactic acid environment and how it broke that down and the P53 receptors and all these things. And I came running in the door. I was like, yeah, this is like so cool. And everybody in the house just like looked at me like, okay, could you just be quiet now and move along?
Yeah, you know what? It's like, okay, you broke away from the herd, okay? And we don't know what you're even talking. You're talking some kind of foreign language, and nobody lubricated us with WD-40 yet.
Yeah, it was pretty funny actually. It was a really eye-opening experience, and I'm glad I did it because I realized, okay, just move along, go
Hey,
through what I need
unless
to
somebody's
go
going
through.
to pay you for it,
Yes.
okay? They don't want it, okay? All right?
No, they don't want it.
No, these are my Oreos. I bought them, okay? This is my love of my life, okay? Back off.
Yeah.
That's where the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so so I came back in January and I'd had quite a few treatments to help issues that I was dealing with because of course with this abdominal scarring and all the adhesions associated with the antibiotic therapy and the pitting along my large intestine,
Yeah,
I had
nobody, if I can
issues
say
in
it,
those tissues.
yeah, nobody understands that the worst scar tissue in your life doesn't come from a car accident or a sports injury. Okay, it comes from a emotional injury, and then eventually from the drugs you take to tell your body to shut the hell up. That's a real nice relationship. Until the point that you have issues in your tissues and now they're taking a knife to you because you've been that nasty to yourself that now we got to stab you to cut out the poison that was psychological first. Are you still with me? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to myself, wow, I wish I would have known this when I was 12. However,
You wouldn't have worked.
exactly. Yes. So I came home in January, started my practice, My Body Beautiful, and
Where's your practice was in Nanaimo, British Columbia, which was on Vancouver Island.
yes,
And now you're down here for how long?
I'm here for 7 months. I've been down
Yeah.
here for 2.
Yeah.
Completed my 3rd course, completed my first
So you
training.
became a master practitioner. And the reality is you don't do that to become a master practitioner. You do that so that you can become a master trainer. So now the January course is January, and the February course, she will assist, okay, and take a full master training. And so when she's finished that, she will become a master trainer, which means that gives her the right to actually teach these courses and do personal treatment and trainings for us throughout the world.
Beautiful. I am
And
so
that's a
excited.
fact. We don't fool around. You know, this thing where we can't fly, we can't breathe is not going to last forever. You know, we just need enough people to leave the planet and everybody's family to understand it.
Leaders.
Yeah, we need
Leaders.
leaders. We need leaders.
Yes.
We need leaders, that's for sure.
And this program and this course, it teaches empowerment. And Daryl has such a wonderful methodology here in this course that we have in the non-surgical as well as the Wolf Whole Life Coach certification. It really is life-changing. And I've witnessed it. And being a trainer in this last, or assisting as a trainer in this last course, I really had an opportunity to watch people move forward. And the 22 days, it's like, wow, it's like there is just such a beautiful butterfly that has just gone into metamorphosis and just sprung those wings. And it is such a beautiful thing to witness. It really is. And this empowers people. This empowers people to be leaders. And that's exactly what I am. I'm a leader. And I will continue to learn and I will never stop learning. And as I move forward, and as I've been having a very successful practice in Nanaimo, that when I went and took the second course in June, that just instilled further these practices and just confidence and just being allowing me to have that opportunity to continue leading and guiding people to make changes in their life. And I have done that. I've done that with scoliosis. I've done that with hiatal hernias. I've done that with hammer toes. It's endless. It is endless what we can do. And
Yeah.
removing those blockages, giving people back their lives.
And you know what? It's one thing to just go blah, 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 blah. But we'll tell you that if you go to surgery, we'll refund your body work money. How's that? So there. So that's what we do. We are going to create an army all over the world. an army that's going to teach people that we were sucker punched by the Rockefellers, okay, the Rothschilds, the medical system, our government that works for an elite government. We all know who they are. So understand something, that's over now. And we're just not going to put up with it anymore. And I don't have to. And remember something, fear is your only real nemesis. The day that you get rid of fear, they fear us. That's it right there. There are laws in the universe. And the law in the universe is, we're going to come and mess you up. And then guess what? That's all they have to say, like they do on every movie. You know, they let you know on every movie what they're going to do to you. They know, you know what they're going to put you through. They let you know they're going to sell you off by the pound. They know, you know that they're going to poison your water, your food, the air, the information you get, your family. So the reality is, you've been warned, okay? And if you didn't understand that this is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, you will, and it may be too late.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
And the evidence that we've been given throughout this corrupt environment that we are living in is false.
Are you tired of being scared?
Yeah.
Let me know when you are, okay? I mean, but most people, they get off on it because everybody wants to get high. And when you get scared, you go into a sympathetic state and you dump adrenaline and cortisol. It's really cool, isn't it? And if you dump it for more than 3 minutes, then it's actually going to fry out your tissues, and make it into scar tissue in your body. That's your organs, your tendons, your ligaments, your joints. And it's going to take the calcium and rob it from your joints. And then you're going to be stiff as a board. And now they won, okay? They won.
And
Yeah.
now we're winning.
But now we're winning, but we are winning because you know what? Mind your own business because your life matters. You matter. And there's no authority over you. You were created by God Almighty to create. But look, it doesn't mean that we don't have our struggles, but it does mean that we don't stay there like our family does. Instead of suffering for 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, we don't do it for more than 3 seconds or 3 minutes. Because the reality is this: 3, 2, 1, Braveheart, I got this.
We got it.
When you do that and you count backwards, that keeps you in your conscious mind. So your subconscious mind doesn't run that prominent dominant belief that was just pushed into you, okay? And you don't even know it. You know, you think that life is as good as it gets because everybody around you thinks that. Meanwhile, it isn't.
It's not.
No.
And it's time to empower ourselves and to recognize the fact that we can take our health back. And
We
can.
have taken our health back.
We have.
And
I
we will
have.
keep
Yes.
it. It
Yes.
won't be like the person that uses willpower
No.
to get well
No.
and then get exhausted over and then fall back into their same old sickness again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then being able to come here, and I'm going to actually be here till April, so 7 months in total, and to be able to come here in this environment of like-minded people and to be able to entrench myself into this group that is absolutely beautiful because we can then support each other. We can walk through this journey and be able to guide and be able to love and be able to be at this place of peace. And for me, it's like, it's absolutely phenomenal. And what I have done in the past year, as far as the treatments I've had to help remove the calcification and a sheath that I had that was covering my neck, and what I've done for my abdomen and my back. And when you talk about the scar tissue wrapping around the vertebrae, I have scar tissue that we're still working on, and it's peeling
Yeah.
away,
Well, people don't
pulling
get it.
apart.
You go and you get a treatment. Well,
Yeah.
you're only good until the next treatment. Let's stop treating you because you're going to get mistreated along the way. Let's teach you how to become that authentic practitioner and look after yourself. Look, right now we have almost 300 people here.
Yeah.
We have 225 rooms here at the Ixtapa World Healing and Training Center. People are here, some are here just to sit in on my lectures because we do free ones, you know. Take a look at it this way. So tomorrow is Wednesday, so we have one in the morning, and it's about an hour and 20 minutes. And then on Thursday, we have one from 8 until 12, and then we have another one that's from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock on Thursday that's free. And then on Friday, we have another one from 8 until 12. So people will come here and they will rent a house. Some people they've moved here. They
Yeah.
said, bye-bye Canada,
Yeah.
bye United States, bye UK, bye Australia, bye Singapore, but we have people from all over the world, trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, we are a Braveheart nation. So there's almost 300 people here. So some of our meetings, you'll find that in a meeting, there'll be 150 people in the tent, right?
Yes, absolutely. And how many graduated in the last
Well, we've
certification
got
course?
85 that graduated in the last 8 weeks. 85 people graduated as New World practitioners. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, don't get me wrong, but 30%, maybe 25%, 30% will never practice, but they will. They'll practice on themselves and they'll practice on their families because people are understanding something. Hey, I'm going to take a whole life coach certification and I'm going to take the Wolf non-surgical because I'm going to go home and I'm going to kick butt with my family and myself. And then we've got families coming here every week that want to do personal treatment and trainings. They perfect pain-free pregnancy. Those who want to have children and do it right. Okay, you don't have your spouse does not have to suffer. Okay, you can look after each other. You don't need a doctor. Doctor means teacher, right? Once you've been taught, you're still going to look for someone to birth the child. That's great. I get it. That could be someone who's been taught how to birth.
Yeah,
Midwife.
exactly.
But the reality is this. I'm not, look at the medical system is great for emergencies, 911 emergencies. Do you want to be a 911 emergency every day? Well, then bloody well, look after yourself.
Love yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself.
Care for
Look
yourself.
in the mirror and
Care
say,
for
I
yourself.
love you.
Yeah, care for yourself.
Absolutely. Self-care. And with the perfect pain-free pregnancy, then the mother can have a delivery that is just this
No
most
pain,
beautiful
no stiffness.
pain-free pregnancy.
And then a
Pain-free delivery.
birth within
Yeah.
30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you know why you don't?
Yeah.
Because you're contracted all the way through from fear, which we can help you remove on an emotional level and get rid of the inflammatory foods, the inflammatory thoughts, and the inflammatory husband or the inflammatory spouse. Because your spouse is always, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Well, what if you knew what to do? What if you knew that you could go in with Wolf non-surgical and you could free up her spine, free up her hips, work gently on her abdomen, work on her pelvis, work on her knees, work on the whole spine, every vertebrae. What if you gave her and she had her flexibility all the way through? She could breathe properly. No, let's just do this. Let's just get tons of checkups and don't know how to help ourselves.
Yeah.
Or our partner knows how to help us. And we're just going to eat like the normal person and have normal pregnancy. Welcome to hell.
And satisfy all those cravings.
Yeah.
Eat a bucket of ice cream.
And the ice cream is all about the sweetness that you want in your life. And understand, your body will opt for sugar when it doesn't get its nutrients. When you get the proper nutrients, you turn off all addictions. And listen, why don't you just put a little bit of super cinnamon, couple drops in your water and make it hot water and drink that. That'll get rid of your sugar cravings without, there's no sugar in it. It'll balance your blood sugar level and the hot water will go through and cleanse out the mucus and you won't ever get COVID. You just got to drink the hot water and maybe kick in some black diamond into it, right?
Some infinite iodine.
Infinite iodine, like every child needs. If you're not doing infinite iodine, which is right here, okay, right there. That's infinite iodine. And if you're doing 5 sprays of that, okay, every day, then guess what? Your child's going to be born smarter. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And C60.
There's lots of things, but why people should be calling for a perfect day consult with Sharon or one of the other practitioners. You can do it anywhere around the world. It's $150. You get our Perfect Day manual, which is the best health book in the world. I will stand behind it. You get the PDF. It's 340 pages. If you want to really learn what health is, if you want to learn how emotions are attached to the physical problem, you want to get down to the core, we give you that for free. And we give you lifetime support for free for $150.
Yeah.
Right, Sharon?
Yeah. Yeah. And
if you go to consultations, you'll see Sharon's picture right up there.
Yeah. And emotion is energy in motion. And so what we want to do is we want to be certain that the energy that is in motion is the best healing energy that we possibly give. And with the Perfect Day consult, it gives you all the tools so that then you can jump out of that starting gate and you can really make a difference.
Yeah.
$150.
How does it
That's
feel
it.
to have a hammer?
Guaranteed.
Go here, take this hammer and go try to tighten those screws over there.
Yeah.
Okay, stop beating yourself up. And I'm telling you something. They gave everybody the same manual. They gave your great grandparents, they gave your grandparents, and they gave your parents. And now you're passing the manual on to your kids. How does it feel? Let's end the what?
The dysfunctional belief system and the family curse.
That is and guess what? The family curse is the education that they gave you. Okay? The edumutation, I should say.
And it starts so young, it does start so young. And I even
Starts in the
recognize that.
womb.
It starts in the womb.
Everything is frequency.
Because it's vibration and it's light energy. And so that energy, when you have a bunch of blocks, emotional blocks, physical blocks, spiritual blocks, that prevents that energy from coming in because we are electromagnetic energy light beings. What we want is we want free flow. We want everything to vibe.
And everything
It's
you
all about
have is
frequency.
everything that you've created, whether it was unconscious, conscious or not, doesn't matter. You know, you had one rule, just one rule. Whatever you thought about, talked about the most is what you've got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you know what? It takes work. It takes work.
It does.
You know, when somebody says to me, Dr. Wolf, I've got stage 3-4 cancer, what's the first thing I should do? Leave your family. Leave the family because they don't know how to help you. They're full of fear. And remember something, environment is what creates it. Your internal environment and your external environment. You've got to get away from the fearful people. You know, we tell people you don't have to come to Ixtapa, but if you came to Ixtapa, there's what, population 3,200.
Yep.
The water's the warmest in Mexico.
It's
The
amazing.
temperature's amazing.
So beautiful.
You could be out there at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
How dangerous is it?
Not at all.
Cartel my butt, will you? Okay. All right. I know people in the cartels, so just know this. They've been fighting for their land and their rights, just like the Indians or the indigenous people have for hundreds of years. So understand, they've got a reason to fight. Okay. And you know, there's bad people or people with bad beliefs in every system. All right. But go ahead. You just keep watching the news and reading the newspaper and have everybody telling you what you should be scared of and what you should run. Oh no, I think you should run to the jab. Okay. and definitely don't run to the beach.
Yeah. I run to the beach.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I was just floating around there yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just such a beautiful experience, and to allow ourselves to move there in a loving, gentle, caring way. These are steps, and I meet people all the time that are really brave heart souls that are pushing through their pain and pushing through their.
Well, they're not pushing through their pain. They're dissolving their pain by dissolving the issues in their tissues, which started off in the psychological.
Yes.
So we have to say, never push through your pain.
Right.
Okay. So that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When you push through your pain, you're going to rip and tear. Because when you push through your pain, you're creating more inflammation.
Yeah.
That creates beef jerky, and beef jerky is not elastic.
That's right.
And we want to be able to snap back to reality.
And as we start dehydrating and calcifying,
Well, that's so cool.
those tendons
That's not
and
cool.
muscles and ligaments, then they start to shorten. They start to shorten, just like
And
a
you
piece
shorten.
of meat.
You know, when people say, "Oh, I've lost an inch in height," oh no, you haven't. The discs in between your vertebrae have become dehydrated from you pooping in the pelvis, which created the infection, which created the inflammation, which created the scar tissue formation in your discs, which dehydrated them. And so, guess what? How about this? We'll do an hour to an hour and a half work on your spine from your coccyx tip right up to your occiput, and we'll give you back an inch to an inch and a half in your height, okay? Because people go, "I've lost calcium." What'd you do? Did you lose it? Lost the top part of your head or what? Seriously. You know, it's like the person who says, "I've got a slip disc." Where did it slip into your underwear? There's no such thing. Okay, they will tell you. And then, "I've got stenosis. The nerve's dead in my spine." No, it's not. You've got scar tissue. And guess what? In the first treatment, out of 95% of the people we work on, they have complete feeling back. And then if you've got sciatica, all you have to go is to the SI joints and then clean off the rust, which is the scar tissue and calcium. And usually in the first treatment, we can see at least 80%
Yeah.
maybe
Relief.
to 100% relief.
Yeah.
End of story. Okay, so keep on getting that adjustment. Keep on getting that acupuncture. I have a doctorate in acupuncture. I don't even do it anymore because it's not getting to the issue, which is scar tissue, displaced calcium, and crystallization.
Yep, absolutely. And for me, it's as I'm moving through this journey and removing these layers, gently pulling apart and dissolving these issues, then I'm becoming more flexible. My mind is working better. I'm bringing in the light. I can breathe better. I'm just like overall a totally different person from the standpoint of when I started this back in January. It's
Yeah,
given me my life
but
back.
we're still going through things, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah, because what happens is you have to understand when you start this journey, you are going to see that you have the master key, which is repetition, but repeating things that are unconditional love for yourself. But it takes time. Like, in 9 months, you get to see the head of the real you. You're birthing the real you. But within days, you can see changes. But I'm just saying that you really go, oh, I got this. I got this. I see what I've got to do here. And then, within a year or two, life will look a lot different, won't it?
It will.
And you will take action. You will not have reaction. Reaction's a killer. So how do you react to certain people in your family, to certain news? You know what? I don't care if a bomb goes off. I'm just going to go 3, 2, 1. I got this.
You got this.
There's a new sheriff in
You
town.
got this.
I'm going to take a Lionheart breath, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, maybe 3 of them if it's really traumatic, dramatic. Keep myself centered so I take the right action and I don't hurt myself or someone else.
And you practice what you preach, because I've witnessed what has gone on over here over the last few months, and he does. And it's so true. That's what we need to do is if we center ourselves and take that big deep breath and say 3, 2, 1, I got this, then we got it. We don't need to react. We need to act in self-love and put that image, take our imagination, create the thought. Then that thought will create the emotion, and that emotion will trigger our brain, the chemist. And that emotion that is being triggered by the brain, the chemist, or the emotion that is triggering the brain, which is the chemist, will either trigger our daily dose, which is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, or endorphins, which is all positive, and that will give us all the light energy that we require, or we can dump in negative frequency, which is histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. And that is where the inflammation, that's where the issues in the tissues are created from that emotional perspective.
Even if you say you're not religious, the biggest problem I've seen with people is that when we start talking about self-care and they start practicing it right off the bat, it feels wrong or sinful. Meanwhile, sin means missing the mark. Big deal. Get over it. You can miss the mark as many times, but please do not forget to shoot the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so often people have said, oh, self-care, that's really selfish.
Yeah.
It's not selfish.
No.
Self-loving.
It's being centered in oneself for the first time,
Yeah.
and saying it's okay if I take the dimmer switch and turn it on full, because guess what? Love is a self-serve job. Fill up your own heart and then find out how it works.
Yeah.
What would you like to leave everybody with?
I would like to leave everybody with that this, I've really enjoyed this opportunity to speak to you, and I encourage you to reach out if in any way, if I can help guide you on your journey. I'm available anytime. And my number, I believe, is in the tagline here. I can be reached at mybodybeautiful11@gmail.com. And I can also be reached at mybodybeautiful on Facebook. And the key is for me is that I am going to spring out of Ixtapa, and I will be teaching and I will be training. And that is my love. That is my passion. I want to empower people. I want to guide people. I want to assist people so that then you can get your life back and you do not have to suffer. You can find that relief, and let yourself own that. Let yourself be that. This is so important, especially in these times. These times are riddled with fear. Don't let that sink in. Allow yourself to rise above that and love yourself enough so when you look in that mirror, you can say, I love you. I protect you. I trust you. I honor you. I forgive you unconditionally. Trust. Trust in your gut instincts. Trust in what it is that you want. Use your imagination. Soar with that imagination. Fly with the butterflies. Because first love yourself. Fly. Enjoy. I love you, and I'm really happy to be here and become Daryl's master trainer. It's really beautiful.
It's an honor
Thank you,
to
Daryl.
have you.
Thank you.
So, Bravehearts, thanks for joining us. We'll be doing more practitioner corners. And as you can see, everybody's got a different adventure. Everybody's got a different story. And out of everybody's story, you'll get something, one little gold nugget that'll just go, yeah, I get it now. I get it. You know, I'm not going to change you, but something Sharon would say, or Gary would say, or Dana, or Jim, or John, or Susie. Just keep going because you're worth it. 3, 2, 1.
We got this.
You definitely do, Braveheart. Have the best day of your life.
Have an amazing day.
God bless.
We love you. God bless.
You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and we're just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency And we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners or even so-called whole life coaches that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart and we're going to become the spark that you seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teachings is that unconditional love is literally it. And then you're like, how can it be that easy? That's just silly. So, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear, but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in, because
How I found my brave heart was through Daryl. He really teaches you to go within and go in through your heart and not your mind, because your heart's a lot more connected to so much more than your mind. Your mind is just so conditioned and your heart is just so open and beautiful.
you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited, because this is your life.
He's the first doctor that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth, and not just half truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams, and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream. okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line, because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call or a Band-Aid or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. And you need to do that from anywhere from 6 days to 10 days, or you need to come for my whole life coach certification, because if you don't go in deep, you'll never make changes. They say it takes 10,000 times for you to repeat something before it becomes a prominent, dominant thought. And if you understood that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are not yours, and they say that 70% of your thoughts are toxic, tell me they're not. Take a look at the majority of the population. 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means the body is attacking itself. Before that, though, the person was attacking themselves on a subconscious, unconscious level. And that, my friend, is the bottom line, and why you must take a personal treatment and training and go deep and understand how to run your life. What that means is learning how to think, how to drink, how to eat, and knowing when somebody is mistreating you, when someone is disrespecting you, because until you honor and respect yourself, no one else is going to do it. So understand, this is your life. If you want to live your passion and purpose, then you must become the master of your mind to become the master of your body, so that you can become the light for your family. So please, consider this. You've got the time and you've got the money, because you're going to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life, and that's my guarantee to you.